Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, it's funny, I was sitting down trying to figure out, what could I possibly talk about for my next podcast episode. I honestly just looked at my video, or the video game cover to Gran Turismo Sport, and I'm like, I got it. What could the next Gran Turismo game be about? So yeah, overall, I'm sitting down thinking, and I'm like, fam, I think that they should do an open world Gran Turismo game because my thing is this, all right, and maybe that's why Sony wasn't hesitant about having Forza Horizon come to PlayStation because what open world games do they got? And that might not be the focus. They're probably like, oh well, if we do come out with another Gran Turismo 8 or Gran Turismo Sport Part 2, it's just going to be the same as it was before. But the thing is this though, you guys can have the ultimate driving simulator, and I mean all aspects of driving, whether it's truck driving, whether it's doing car deliveries, whether it's doing races, meetups. I'm saying there is so many different possibilities. You got to honestly think of the racing scene, the racing scenery. We can make that into a video game, whether it's in, I'm saying that's another thing too, where the map size has to be big, all right? It has to be a big giant map. And they're probably thinking along the lines too, like, oh, it's, and even thinking about it right now, it's like, yeah, it probably would be a lot to have it where it's like, you know, like you gotta add all these different cities and stuff. But no, that's honestly what they could do. They could do it just like this, where have it where there's one big giant city, like let's say it's like major cities, or it could be this whole state of California for all I care. I'm saying, but it could be that. If you guys want to, you know, pay or show some love to my home state, Washington State, ain't really a whole lot out here, but I think it would be kind of dope though to see, because I mean they did kind of do it in the crew, but I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, it was all right, but yeah, I'm saying though, I feel like with Gran Turismo they can really go the distance when it comes to stuff like that. It could even be some places overseas. Where else? Like, yeah, it could be a lot of different places, but overall though, it should be like the ultimate driving simulator, whether like, and yeah, they'd have it where, and I'm gonna get into like all the different things that they can add into the game, but no, anyway, so like let's say it takes place in the just California, right? Or it could be New York, or it could be Texas, it could be Florida, it could be anywhere, Nebraska, I don't care, all right? But overall though, it takes place in the state. They have it where you get like a starter car and stuff. So it's like, yeah, they have it where your character, and they could do that too, have it where it's like this is the first time in Gran Turismo history where you get to step out of your car and you get to, like, you know, walk up and down the street. So in case if you just kind of want to explore a little bit and, you know, just kind of like see how some things are, you could do that. So yeah, they should have it where it's like, you know, you create a character. Your character has to go to a dealership, buy a cheap car and stuff. So yeah, let's say it's like a beaten up Honda Civic, but then you also have to go to the garage and fix it up if you want to do races, if you want to, what else? Overall, like do deliveries. They should have it where you have to like go to the gas station, get out, and it's a whole like mini game. Not like a mini game, but they have it where it's like, you know, you just grab like the gas handle, put it in your car, you know, you just standing there filling up your gas. And then yeah, have it where it's like, you know, you have to change out your tires. It might be some weather conditions that's going on. So yeah, let's say if you want it to take place in a state where it's like, you know, and I'm saying Washington State, you know, we got our sun, we got our rain, we got our snow, we have what else, you know, it could be a lot of different things, you know, but overall though, it should be like a legitimate experience. It should be like a whole legitimate driving experience. But overall though, have it where you get to do that. You're doing story missions, you're doing side missions, and it definitely should be a situation where the game goes the distance. Like I'm saying, like it, like more so talking on like the campaign and the career mode and all that stuff. It should really go the distance. It shouldn't be no, oh, like after about 50 hours then you complete the main story. No, it should be like after 50 hours you completed like part 1 of the main story, but there's like 20, 30, 100 different parts of it and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you gotta go to all these different areas, do this, do that, transfer this, transfer that, build up. And they should have it too where it's like the amount of cars that's in the game, you have to, it's a story with each car. So like let's say if you guys got 100 cards in the game, or however many cards you guys want to have in the game. It should be a story for each car. So like, let's say if you start off with a Honda Civic, you gotta do all these things Honda Civic Honda related. If you get a Ford Mustang, you gotta do all these things Mustang related. If you get a Koenigsegg Jesko, you gotta do all these things Koenigsegg related. But it should be a story for each car, so at least then there's a reason to play, because that's one thing that I find like kind of like messed up in racing games, where it's like there's going to be cars that you don't really fool around with. You know, like there's cars that even like, let's just name the latest Forza Motorsport. Like there's cars that I haven't gotten a chance to try out yet. For one, they don't really pay out a whole lot for the career mode. And I'm gonna talk on that in a moment, because I'm like, if you guys do some stuff like that, I don't want the payouts to be nothing like Forza Motorsport, all right? Because the Forza Motorsport payouts is horrible, especially when you're playing career mode. But then it's like, talking on that though, it's like, you know, just the like payouts. Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk. I was gonna say something, but I completely just slipped my mind. But anyways, no, they should have it where it's like, okay, if you need to get new tires, then it's like, hey, I need you to go do this delivery. I need you to go deliver these car parts, and I need you to, you know, maybe do a drag race or something. Like, there's a bunch of different things you gotta do to get the next upgrade to your car and stuff. Have it where there's a difficulty settings. Let me just say that much, because there are games where they feel like they need to be mad difficult. There ain't no need for that. At the end of the day, yes, you guys are making a simulation, but there are people that are going to look at this as a video game. So I'm not saying to make it like unrealistic, make it realistic, but at the same time, have it where the gamer, the one that just went out and paid $69.99 for your guys' video game, is having an experience. All right. So anyways, but yeah, overall, like that should be the whole case with that. But yeah, then getting to the payouts and things, like, yeah, have it where it's like, you know, you do races, you gotta make a certain amount of money and things, but have it where there's like a bunch of different races in there. You know, have it where it's like, I ain't never seen that before. I was just talking about that not too long ago. I think I was playing Forza. Have it where your character gotta get into a foot race. Have it where it's like you be the racer, and the racer is all like, I bet you can't beat me on foot, and then, you know, you gotta like smash your buttons and run all fast and stuff and beat this guy in a foot race. So I'm just saying, it could be like just like silly things like that, or even if it's like you want to like really go deep in depth with like, you know, just with like cars and just keep it car related. Yeah, have it where it's like your character, you know, you have to work on your own car. I mean, yeah, if you want to just have it where it's like that stuff is worked on with the mechanic, you very well could do that too. But they should have like some car mechanic features in there, things kind of like, yeah, car mechanic simulator, because I think they plan on coming out with an open world game here soon. So I'm like saying, Gran Turismo, you guys are next. That's what the next game should be about. Look, here's the thing. You guys done came out with 8 games, 7 regular Gran Turismos, and then Gran Turismo Sport. You guys done came out with enough of like that, just, you know, track type racing games. It's about time y'all come out with an open world racing game, all right? So, anyways, but yeah, they should have it where it's like a gang of different races in there. I'm saying like it should be something where it's like, oh, Gran Turismo World, and I guess that could be the name of the game too. Call it Gran Turismo World. I'm saying you got regular Gran Turismo Sport. You guys got Gran Turismo World, where it's like a mixture of the regular Gran Turismos, Gran Turismo Sport, and then this new open world experience and stuff. You know, I don't think Sport wasn't really all that different. I don't know why they did come out with that. They could have called that 7 and then could have called Gran Turismo 7, 8. But anyways, but no, overall though, but yeah, they should have it where, I mean, there's like thousands upon thousands of races to do with like each individual car and stuff. So, because that's one thing that I'll find is that when you get like heavily into a racing game, you find it to where there ain't enough different areas to race to and stuff. So yeah, there definitely should be a situation. I mean, even that too, where it's like if fans want to get involved and create their own tracks, that could be a situation too. You know, have it where there's like a customization option in the game where it's like you get to customize your own tracks, you know, recreate some tracks. I'm saying that actually would be kind of dope. That actually would be kind of dope thinking about that and stuff. But yeah, they should, because I remember there was a video game, but I think that game, it didn't have controller support, but they had, and I'm like, you know, and it's funny because I just recently created a meme about that, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I know for a fact I didn't play the racing game before where it didn't have no controller controller support. Maybe they might have it now. I'll look it up after I'm done with this podcast episode. But anyways, but yeah, overall, there was this one racing game that I remember looking into where they had it where you can create your own tracks in there. And I'm like, fam, that would be kind of dope, where it's like, okay, there's like a community area for the game for all these different different fans of Gran Turismo, where they're like, I did my best to recreate this track, or I recreated this street in Seattle. And I mean, like, have it where the creations can like go in depth, like they're having it where you're creating full-blown cities and stuff. So yeah, overall, I know that this game probably, memory-wise, it's definitely going to require a lot. You know, it's going to probably be a video game where I can see it well being over 100 and something gigabytes. But aren't most games today like a good game at that too? Well, I take that back. There's some games that ain't all that good and they be asking for that much memory, and I'm like, fam, this ain't even a good game. What are you talking about? So, but yeah, overall though, it should be a situation where you can create tracks and things, even if it is just small tracks or full blown like cities. And yes, like again, referencing my home area, Seattle, where it's like, I'm like, dang, this look just like that street in Seattle and stuff. So yeah, they could have it where it be some stuff like that. Freeway racing, of course, whether it's some people that want to do that. And then that's what I was going to talk on with multiplayer. So they definitely should have like kind of like a meetup thing, where you can kind of, and this is where I'm like, to the developers behind Gran Turismo, I'm like, you guys, if you guys decide to do some stuff like this, you have a chance of bringing back one of the biggest PlayStation-based games of all time. PlayStation Home. Bro, I am telling you, like, now imagine this, okay? They have it where there's like all these different things, like, yeah, that actually would be kind of dope too, where it's like you get to they have like arcades and you get to choose like different tracks from the like old Gran Turismo games, and it's like in that graphic settings and stuff, but you get to do like you get to race like in Gran Turismo 1, Gran Turismo 2, 3, 4, but it's like the iconic tracks, iconic cars and stuff, and then have it where it's like, it's kind of like an arcade settings and stuff. So yeah, definitely have it where it's some stuff like that, meetups, show off cars, overall just, yeah, and then they can have it where it's like them one meetups that be in like in the middle of like intersections and stuff, where it's like, y'all just drifting, seeing how long you guys, or not drift, but do donuts and things, see how long you guys can, yeah, it could be drifting too, drifting, donuts, overall like, customize your car to where it's like you add all these different features where people can either rate it, or there's like an in-game system that rates it where it's all like, oh, you added this effect to your car, you did this, you did that, all right, cool, it's like you got some cool points or something, or some Gran Turismo, some GT points in the game. And they could have it where it's like some stuff like that too, where it's like there's even something to kind of have it where it's like amongst the community to see how many GT points you gather up throughout the week. So on top of like earning money and stuff, you also earn GT points. And then it's like, oh, you topped out at the most, because I feel like that can also give people a reason to sit down and play the game a little bit more. So it's like, yeah, multiplayer racing, single player racing, and then yeah, just kind of like doing meetups where it's like people are like, voting for your car being the most dopest looking car, or what else. Yeah, but I mean, it could be because I know people are gonna probably be all like, that sounds a little bit like the Crew Motorfest in a way, but yeah, how I described it, how like that open world, or just, I not like how they doing it. I feel like what I just described and what I came up with is completely different than what the Crew Motorfest, what they got going on in that same fashion. But I'm like, fam, there's so many different video games out there in the same fashion. I'm like, come on now, Gran Turismo, you guys got a chance of making a really interesting video game. No, wait a minute, they can't call it Gran Turismo World, because no, they got that for Mario Kart. So I was like, all right, so maybe you guys come up with the title of the game and stuff. But overall though, yeah, they should just have it where it's like it's just one big giant open world experience. Have it where it's like, you gotta like recreate like iconic moments in car history and stuff. What else? Yeah, have it where there's like a mountain area. You gotta like, And that's even something too where it's like, okay, let's say, and I like, because that's what I was thinking, like with the mountain areas and stuff. I might do a part two if I'm thinking of like, if I think of some more stuff to talk about. But no, they should have it where it's like your character has to create a Jeep commercial. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's can be like a commercial or like a thing to do for each individual car where it's like, hey, Chevy wants you to do a commercial. So, and that's where I'm like, there's this one video game where I'm like, they could even kind of add some elements of that too. But there's this one video game called Stuntman where they had it where you did all these different car stunts and stuff. You guys can do that in the Gran Turismo open world game and have it where it's like, you know, you're like Chevy is like, hey, we want you to create a commercial for the new Camaros, you know, drift this, and then it's like, yeah, then there's like a video that plays out afterwards where it's showcasing, you know, you doing whatever and stuff. So yeah, it's like they could do that, and then yeah, then it's like I was saying with Jeep, they're like, you know, Jeep wants you to create a commercial, so they want you to go uphill on these rocks and park the car at a certain angle and stuff, you know, and then what else? Like, yeah, like maybe do some other things, whatever. But it's like, yeah, it's a whole driving experience, you know. Then yeah, have it where it's all like, hey, we need you to be a stuntman for this movie. I know, again, the Crew Motorfest did kind of do some stuff like that, but maybe in Gran Turismo, it's like, it was kind of arcadey in the Crew Motorfest. I'm like, yeah, Gran Turismo, maybe they can make it a little bit more interesting and stuff, you know. Yeah, have it where it's like, oh, and that's why I'm like, they can reference the movie, the Gran Turismo movie, where they're all like, you know, then they have it where the actors from the movie is all like, hey, you know, thanks for doing this stunt for me. I would do it myself, but I'm a little terrified. And then there's a whole scene where you're like kind of just like racing around and stuff. So I'm saying they can very well do that, you know. But yeah, there's just a lot of, and then with the, like, obviously with the cars that they had in the movie and stuff. But I'm saying though, open world Gran Turismo game with all those different things like Stuntman, what else? PlayStation Home, some walking around elements and stuff, you know. Yeah, it's like, they did something like that with the next Gran Turismo. I think that they definitely, yeah, maybe they could just call it, nah, because Forza Motorsport did the same thing. But I was like, I don't know what they could call Gran Turismo, like an open world Gran Turismo game. Like maybe that could be like, no, I don't, because Sport was like, I don't know, like, because I was thinking maybe Gran Turismo Sport 2, or I mean, even if you guys do want to just call it Gran Turismo 8, you guys very well could do that. I mean, I don't know, I was sitting down thinking about it. I'm like, dang, I can't think of, no, I suck with titles. I'm gonna tell you guys that right now. I'm horrible when it comes to titles. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.